I'm going to start watching oil first, just because it's got a really big move going here, and it's opening. It just opened. All right, so we'll keep an eye on oil. I'm not monitoring the chat, but if there's a problem, please put something in there. Anyway, my
Or I
default
stated in IDES, come bug
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Find
come
me in the
above
pit, no problem.
exactly. And as I said in IDES also, my overwhelming likelihood is to do very little today. So I'm going to default to sitting on my hands, but I definitely want to watch oil here for a few minutes. I mean, oil is up. I'll put this over here so we can see it. Oil is now up 6.25% on good volume, 283,000 contracts. So obviously, there's a bid under it, but yeah, the last thing you want to do is join a bid like that. But there's UB above at the high here, so. On this Sierra chart, I'm showing the New York session times, not the pit session times, but it doesn't matter. We're still seeing, what is effectively a period right now. And it looks like it's probably a long to me, but again, I'm just not in a hurry to play this today. So, if I was going to do anything, I'd probably be long here. Just took out that zero print, UB up there at the top. But we just did this, so to want to join along after it just left a range that aggressively, it could go right back into the range, right back to this big high volume node. So the risk of getting swept down into a big loss is fairly substantial, and that's exactly why I'm not chasing this long. But that doesn't mean it's not going to break the ledge. It probably will, and that probably will take out that UB. But I like to be really deliberate when I scalp oil, and this is the kind of stuff, that's a fairly good odds that's going to happen here. But again, it's not my primary play. My primary play is going to be more price action, which, by the way, you can see on the one just below it. This is the 15 seconds, so we've got 30 minutes and 15 seconds, and so this is kind of perfect for me, and I'm seeing how you could argue being long here and go after that UB, but again, I don't like the risk of this big air pocket here, so I'd rather not play that again, and also because we're up 6.5% already. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking there, which leads me to think I want to go over and watch the indexes, because I really like what's happening over there better. We're not quite at a period yet, obviously for the indexes, but real quickly, we can switch right here really fast. So this is what's going on in index land. Obviously both of them are right up at the two primaries, NQ, ES, right up at the highs, going up. This is obviously a long, but not here, at least not right now. I want to see how it opens. And, in the case of ES, I'd love to get long somewhere back down here on an opening push down that gets bought. That would be kind of the perfect way to play this by the dip. On the other hand, I'm not convinced that the buy the dip is in completely yet. We may be done with buy the dip and we might go see the other end of the range at the open. So as we said at IDES, I have no preconceived notions of this. I'm really going to go with what I see, but it's really about the momentum. That's the first clue. Anything else that might happen is going to be a result of the momentum. So let's see, that looks relatively quiet right now. Not a place I want to buy or sell in the indexes, but certainly, we're at the top of the range, and let's see, we're at the top of the range in all four of them. So that's a pretty nice spot to watch. It's, clearly a potential long, but it's already moved so far. This is where we're at. Look at this. 1.6% in RTY, but remember, 5% down on RTY on Friday. So this isn't even back to the ambush zone yet if you're a fib guy. So yeah, I've learned over the years that when it's this crazy, to be really, really discriminating, because there's always lots of really great setups when it's this crazy, but you can really get sucked into just wanting to be trading all the time instead of really being patient for the good setups. So what's a good setup right now? An opening drive down that gets bought is the best one I could think of. That would be the golden goose trade today so far. What else would I like a lot? Well, just a high volume reversal here that, we get to 50 or 60 and then it gets crushed. That would be a perfect place to short it. And, we could revisit the lows from Friday in a heartbeat. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I think this is going to get bought. Money's got no place else to go. I'm just not going to chase it up here. So that's what I'm thinking. All right, well, look at that. As it keeps making new highs, it's about to make 50 right now. I mean, you could certainly be long here and ride this up, but um, again, like I said, I'm choosing to be very careful today. I'm also up quite a bit from the overnight. I should point that out. I've got a nice little profit going. I've been scalping long since the reopen last night. If you were at the Sunday session, I did some there and we were talking about it. So at this point, I'm not. I've already made my daily number, so anything once we open is gravy on top of that. So again, that's another reason I'm not particularly aggressive right now. It's really interesting. I used to be like any newer trader, and I did that for like 30 years, where I'd really get excited when this kind of stuff was going on, and all that does is lead to bad decisions. And so instead of that, what I started doing was purposely saying, okay, this is exciting stuff, so I have to really stay calm and cool and really stay logical. And instead of really enjoying it, I've learned not to enjoy it. It's just make it mechanical. It should be boring. Good trading should be boring always. So anyway. So JVC, you must be looking at oil. Let's go back to it if you want to just have a chat with me about it, if it's not disturbing you.
No, I actually decided that I've some of the platform stuff I'm playing with is not behaving right. So I decided, you know what? I'm just not going to do anything serious this morning.
Yeah,
I'm going to continue working on what I'm working on.
That's a good day for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
here's oil. Okay.
Yeah, I brought oil back up and you can just see, I mean, it's a really clear potential break of that ledge and that UB, but yeah, I have no desire to stick my neck out through this giant air pocket right here. I mean, look at the size of that. So whatever, we're trading at 60, 72.60, and the high volume node peaks at 71. It's a full point. That's $1,000 of CL down from here. So that that's the kind of thing and that could happen instantly in this kind of market. It did on Friday. So it's just why stick your neck out. It just isn't worth it. It would be chopped off.
This is the kind of thing, if I were trading this, I often, in oil specifically, I've noticed this over and over again. If it does something like this and it starts to come lower towards that UB, I'll throw a sell stop just ahead of the UB, because when it breaks it, oil likes to just go kablooey and shoot 30, 40 ticks.
Yeah, we've got zero prints up here and another UB. Yeah, we could easily go to 73.
There it goes.
Like that. Yeah, it's trying to go.
It's higher now.
Yeah, it's taking out the overnight. Or the session. There's the overnight right there. Yeah, I think that if you're looking at this ADA overnight, it's very likely to take out the overnight.
Yep.
It's not a trade I want to do because it's risky. There's an air pocket under it. That's the problem.
Yeah, there's not a good entry. Unfortunately, It's ugly.
Yeah, you could put a stop right in front of that and just grab the ticks on the UB takeout. That's certainly a good idea, but there's just so much more opportunity in the indexes. That's today anyway. So, by the way, so is the chat disabled or is it just we're telling people we're not monitoring it? Is it disabled now?
I believe at the moment it's disabled. If you can send something in the chat, please do.
Yeah, try anybody. If and if we don't see it, we'll know it's disabled.
How do you prove a negative?
Yeah, it looks like it is because somebody would have posted something by now. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that's our intention to kind of do that. Although. I don't know. For my sessions, I may leave it unblocked in case somebody has to give me some feedback or something. What is that little thing I see up there? Reclaiming host. Oh, it says you're the host, and if I
because the room opened when I clicked my link, so it made me the host.
Well, as long as you're here,
you know what? Let me make you host. Duh. Hold on. Make you host. There you go. Yes, you are.
Yeah, if you do that, then you lose the ability to do things. Right. I have to give it back to you. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, and it says chat disabled now. So yes, there you go. So as a regular viewer, chat is disabled.
It's disabled. Okay, so let me go to the little stupid control panel you can never find.
It's actually in the chat window itself. If you just go to the little 3 dots menu in the chat window, you can just choose what to do there.
Oh, I see. Okay, host and co-host. Okay, so
it took me a while to find it.
So now I turned it on. So now you ought to be able to give me a comment. Try it.
Hey.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a direct message. Can you do the whole room?
I cannot.
You cannot. Okay. So people can only. All right. Well, that's okay. That's a good default.
Yeah, that actually works.
People can only text me.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
so they can tell me, hey, we can't hear you, or your screen share dumped, or yeah, that'll be good because at least if something goes wrong,
Yep.
I'll be aware of it. I may not be watching it all the time, but at least I can look at it now and then. I think
Yep.
that'll work for my sessions. All right. So anyway, oil still threatening to take out that UB, but
Yeah, but with
it got,
price rejectors each time, it's just
yeah,
not
I know.
cleanly doing it.
No, it's not at all. And yeah, again, I just think there's a lower hanging fruit in the indexes today.
Yep.
So let's go back over there. Although, as I said, I really, I'm not going to be really bold here. I've already got a nice profit in the bank from trading was really smooth and easy as long as most of Sunday evening and early this morning. It's gotten a little bit, obviously more volatile up here and more two-way-ish as we moved up going into the open. So we have 20 more minutes till A period starts for ES. I've still got my eye on oil. I'm watching now the high is 87 and it's trading 79. But I really don't want to try to go long in oil when it's up 6.8% at a ledge. I mean, it probably is going to break this ledge, but as I said over and over again, the air pocket, heck, just down, it's a 30 tick drop down to just the bulge, the close bulge and the VWAP right now. And that I've been burned doing that in oil. I just know better. You have to take oil when it really sets up properly. And this is setting up to make some fools out of people both ways. I think this is my take on oil right now. So I'm going to let that play. Meanwhile, I really like the index setup. I mean, I don't want to be long here, but definitely a pullback into the middle of the range. I'm going to be looking to buy. So I'm going to crunch ES together a little bit, down in here somewhere where we just kind of sprung out of. So what's that? The low 30s, mid 30s. That's a spot I would be real interested in. Although, there's a price rejector right under us right now. So, the odds are we may not even get back down there. So if we can hold here, we could run up to 4,700. That's not out of the question. We're only up 1% now. That would be a 2%er. Under these conditions wouldn't shock me at all. So, oh, what else am I looking at? I have my this is my Thinkorswim equivolume bars with my little proprietary trend indicator. Not quite as strong a trend as it was earlier, when we blasted up. So, the people trading the trends and the people trading the ambush zone were pretty darn close to all that stuff. So, yeah. Are the charts broken, or is the buy the dip the correct answer? That's really the question. And I don't know that there's going to be a clear answer until we see some more trading. So, all set for the open. So let's see, we got about 15 more minutes. Let's go back and have another look at oil. At least we could watch it if it's going to break its ledge, because it's right there right now. So you can see it. We can kind of sit on the sidelines again. That's a really likely event. Ledge breaks going that direction. Particularly a UB like this. The odds are probably 99% at some time in the next hour or two it's going to go through there. But is it going to do it on this push? And can you protect yourself from the risk of dropping back down into here? That's the big question right now. And given that we've already come up 6.84%, again, the ledge will break, but you got to have time that right, or you're just going to be on the wrong side of the picture when it comes back the other way, if it does. We go 75 too. I mean, I have no preconceived notions. I'm just thinking in terms of risk management, because that's the right answer under these conditions. Let's see. I think the VIX quieted down just a bit this morning, and it did. Yeah, these are the VIX futures, and they had gotten up to 26, which has kind of been a ceiling for a while, or a point that it tends to turn from, and it in fact did that again. But that doesn't mean anything. Are we risk off, or was it just an aberration on Friday? That's really the question, and we can't answer. We don't have enough data to answer that yet, so there's no reason to try to answer it. Go with what happens and understand that this is one of the drops that we clearly could have either one. A lot of the other drop conditions we had did not look like it could be the beginning of a correction. Friday definitely could have been. It would be a really weird time of the year for that to happen, but there's no reason why that couldn't, the first time in 20 years happen. This is bizarro land ever since COVID started. So, anything is possible. Don't overthink it. like I said in the Ides of Monday, and I'm going to keep telling myself over and over and over again, nothing should surprise you under these conditions. So just kind of go with whatever's happening. And if it isn't tradable, you might see really, really good momentum. This is me talking to myself, Jeff. You might see really good momentum. And you know what? It's not joinable because it's too erratic, or it goes up 8 ticks and then it sweeps back 4 ticks. That's a pattern that's very hard to trade because you can't manage risk, even though it's clearly going one direction. So don't get too excited by a lot of momentum when it's difficult like that. For ES, I've said this over and over. I want to see a really manageable 10 tick or less MAE, and I really want to keep my trades under 5 ticks of MAE. So, if it's sweeping back and forth 8 ticks, then that's not possible, even when you're right. So that's why it's always good to kind of default to sitting on hands. On the other hand, God, there's so many just massive ace king inflection points. Look at the VWAP and the POC and the bottom of our high volume node are right at 30. I mean, is 30 a good place to potentially get long if we drop down there? Abso-friggin-lutely. But we'll trade it when it happens. But certainly that's an area everyone's going to watch. That was in play during the overnight. In fact, while we're talking about it, let me just throw this up and we can look at that real quick. So, boom, 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 boom. So, so this is what I was just saying. That's 30 right there. So that's what I mean by it was in play. We went below it, we came right back up, we went above it, and we came right back down. So I like 30. I like the ledge break up here, but I'm not going to go with it because it's going to be dangerous. So yeah, pull back into this 30 range could be really interesting this morning. All right, I'm going to get into trading mode here for the ES Open. Let's take one more look at oil. Let's see. Okay. So this is that 30 area I was just talking about right here. I'll blow that all up so you all can see it. I was looking at it on my other monitor, and I got to remember that you guys are over here. See, this is the area I'm talking about. So I would love to get long down there. There's the POC, and the VWAP is right around that same spot. So I like it, what Lee said at the Ides this morning, that going down to go up or going up to go down, those are both very interesting scenarios. But playing just here is kind of silly. Look, we're in ebb and flow going sideways, and there is no sideways. We're going up and down in a very tight range is what I mean by that. So, and not one I would scalp at this time of the day, certainly. All right, so this is very interesting. This is very interesting over here on NQ. But in the meantime, we're adrift in the range. All right, let's see, what time is it? It is 6:20-ish. Still watching oil, still don't like that trade. I'll go back there for a minute. It still has yet to take out that UB. It has gotten within 2 ticks. There's a price rejector on the pullback. This is just asking to get suckered here. It's going to take that out, but boy, the pullback to here is easy. So what's that? That is 65. We're trading at 80. Yeah, 15 ticks of risk to be long here. I'm sorry. I can't argue that case to myself or to anybody listening. Therefore, I'm going to not even look at it anymore. It's too dangerous a trade. We're going to stay over here on the indexes. I'm going to refill my coffee. It may be quiet for a while, but I think we're going to have a really fun open. And again, my style in these kind of stream of consciousness is going to be a little different than Lee's or JVC's might be. I will be a little more interactive about it. And so that's why I enabled chat. I don't want to get active chat going, but I think once we get to the open, it might be interesting to have a little feedback and to give you guys a chance to give me a little feedback about this format. Also, let me just pull this over here. This is my 5-minute wave volume. And that's what I'll do. I'll just leave it on this view and bring stuff over to show you. And this is just really interesting right now. That's not, we don't need to do that. That makes it harder to read. So, and just look at the pattern in here. We're making higher highs on strong volume, but we're way up at the edge of the range. And, it's a 5-minute range, obviously, so it's bigger. But, the other end of the range right now is that spot I've been watching, 30. Look at that. What a coincidence. Not, that's just a really interesting spot right now. So pay attention to that. Those of you in the peanut gallery, I think 30 could be a real cool spot to play today. Might do it in micros, might do it in minis if I do, might not do it at all, but that's the first place I really am watching that looks interesting. I suppose I could also argue that there's a similar spot around 35 to 37, but I like 30 a lot better. Anyway, I'm going to go get a little more coffee. It's 6:20 my time. The open is in 10 minutes. I don't expect to do much between now and then, but I'm going to start stream of consciousness again in earnest right before the open. So if any of you out there in listening land want to refresh your coffee or take care of biology break, this is the time to do it. I will be back shortly. I have returned and I see nothing has happened. Oh, wow. I'm glad I didn't chase that long in oil because look what happened. It still has the UB and it's pulled all the way back to 60 now. So yeah, that's a really good setup to get burned on. That's all I can say. I don't know if you're still here or listening, JVC. Have you played this oil at all anymore?
I have not playing, but I am here listening to at low volume.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow, I see. Yeah, that's why I didn't like that long. It's like, yeah, it wants to go to that overnight high, but the price rejectors, every time it pokes its head up, price rejector.
And there's already being up 6.5%. It's like it's just such a dangerous setup. But it's a really good example for people because otherwise it looks great, but for the two reasons we just said, it's not great. It's very scary. So it would have failed twice already.
And that's exactly why you can't just blindly do these structural setups as the overnight high is going to break.
Right. Yeah.
It's just
it may it's just thinking in bets. It's odds. That's all. And the odds are that one is going to cost you money. That's the odds on that one. All right. Wow. I love this setup long in the indexes, but I'm not going to be the sucker that buys up here at the high right before the open. I'm just not going to do that. So we'll keep an eye on this. I do like this trade, but one more time, I like it down here. I like it 30, 35, One of the things I would notice when I was trading last night is the quarters were being really well respected. In other words, the 2.5, 5, 7.5, what I refer to as the quarters, that ES just loves to divide itself up that way. And, those are short-term inflection points, and we'll probably see that. Well, we've been seeing it this morning. It's been playing around really between 40 and here, I can show you on here, or you can see it on the 15-second. It's just moving around in those little quarters. The bottom of the range right now is 42 and a half. So there's one quarter, and right now it's trading up at 47 and a half. So that's exactly how it works. And 5 is in the middle. So, then if it's above 47 and a half, the next one that's in play is the whole number at 50. It's just break it in quarters. That has been a pattern in the index equities in ES and SP for literally as long as I've been trading them, since the early 80s. And it's always been there. And I finally found a good psychological explanation for it in that Dog and the Wolf book. It has to do with humans segmenting things to remember them, says a neuroscientist, who I tend to believe because he was also a floor trader. So anyway, great book, by the way. Again, I've mentioned that book a number of times, but I highly recommend. The Hour Between Dog and Wolf by John Coates. Again, former trader, also neuroscientist at Princeton or Harvard or Yale or someplace. Pretty good credentials. Floor trader and neuroscientist. While we're waiting on the open here, I'm just going to go read the jacket because I'm curious. I think he was at, Cambridge. Yeah, talk about best schools in the world. Yeah, he ran derivatives trading desk in New York, and then a neuroscience PhD at Cambridge. Trading attracts very smart people is one of the things I've learned about trading. Quirky people with emotional problems, which is why they don't often make great traders. But look at oil now. It's at the other end of the range, JVC. Are you watching this? We're down at 45 now,
I'm
72.45.
Oh wow, yeah, we just went negative. Yeah, we're pushing down now. That low
Yeah,
UB.
we're almost at the bottom of the Session range, which is
Yep.
72.30. It's just below us. It's right here. So, wow. No, I'm so glad I'm not long that, because that looks really good if you don't really think about it. But actually now, if it could hold the bottom here, this is actually a spot where I might actually try the long back up to the UB, as long as it were to hold right here. The trouble is the indexes are about to open and I really want to trade those. So I'm going to watch this out of the corner of my eye. I've got it on my main screen too. But the potential for, we're up 6.25%. And just going back to this high volume node is really likely. And that's the air pocket that keeps scaring me. But and then that's why I don't like it short. There's obviously a buy bid under this, but yeah, no, I'm going to keep talking myself out of trading oil right now. I can see all the reasons not to. By the way, that's a great exercise. When you know what you're doing is, look at a trade and say, okay, well, why wouldn't I do that? And I just did it. And it's a really good example. This is going down. It's not a good short, but it certainly isn't the long it originally looked like a minute ago. It may become one. It's looking at a trade that you don't want to play. That's all. It's that simple. All right, back to the indexes. We open in 1 minute, so this is going to be fun. I am literally putting my hands under my rear end right now and sitting on them because I don't want to press any buttons. I want to just watch the open. That's this first half an hour. The open 5 could be a great momentum trade. I will join the momentum of the open 5 if we get it. I don't expect to do that. I think it's going to be a two-way open. And so I just don't want to get swept either direction. I want the day to reveal itself. Stop, look, listen, smell first. So we just got dropped in the rice paddy in Vietnam from our helicopter. Let's see what the battlefield looks like before we start shooting at stuff. And it's in a long, obviously, at the moment, but I'm not going to join it yet. It's too dangerous, but this could be a really good long. So the sweep danger is why I'm not going to join this first 15 seconds, because like that, we could easily get 4 tick sweeps. Again, remember 30, 35, those are very interesting. Up here is just really dangerous place to play. So, make sure I've got the right share on. Hey, JVC, just check me real quick. You guys are seeing my index 4K screen. Okay, good. All right, so
yes, portrait.
Yeah, so you can see what's going on here. I mean, it's obviously a bit up, but it's just such a dangerous spot to get long. My default today is going to be very careful. So, this is a long trade or no trade. You either are in it as a long or you're not, and I would recommend not being in it. I'm not in it, but I'm going to watch it. Again, I'm not going to necessarily trade on the screen. I can trade this account, but I'll probably trade on my domes. So if I'm doing any trades, I will tell you about them. And if they look really cool, I'll switch screens. So that's what I will be doing. But it's really going to be, I want to see something overwhelming for me to join this up momentum at this price. It's just way too dangerous a spot. And we're seeing some not too bad a sweep in either direction, but enough that I'm not anxious to stick my neck out here and get long or short.
By the way, real quick administrative point for everybody, since Jeff is using the portrait monitors today, zoom by default, if you're set to 100%, maybe squeezing it down really small on your screen and you may be having a hard time seeing any of the detail, go up into the little control panel-y thing up at the top of your screen is usually where it should be, and you can change the zoom level and make it 100% normal resolution, and all of a sudden you will only be able to see a small portion of the screen at any one time, but you can click and drag around the part you want to see, or you can turn on the follow presenter's cursor thing and it will try to track where his mouse is. So
it'll try to follow me. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it
does
does
always
okay
do a great job, but
exactly. It will try. Yeah, you're better off pushing it around yourself if you really want to. But okay, so look where we are. We're pushing down here. And this is what I was concerned with the long. You just do not want to buy into this setup when it's already up this much. That doesn't mean it's not a good long, but let the market come to you. So I still really like 30 for a long. I do not like a short at all here. Why? Because we're gap up 50 points, and that's just not a scenario you want to short into. And also, real quickly, have a look at what the wave volume and the 15-second view look like here? You know, that we're at the edge of the range, but it's definitely just rolled over. So this is a really interesting spot too to watch. I think there's also, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there some economic stuff coming out? Let me go look at my calendar. It's on my other monitor. Yeah, we've got pending home sales at 7, top of the hour, and a Yellen speech. Yellen will be yelling, and Dallas Fed is at 7:30. So in the next hour, there's a few things, top of the hour and bottom of the hour. So again, another reason not to stick your neck out. You know, this is going down, but I like it long. I don't like it long here. I definitely wouldn't play this short. Your potential to get swept if you're short is really huge. It's the potential to get swept both ways right now is huge, which is why Jeff is sitting on his hands in this open 5. It's I mean, if you had to play it now, it's a short, and being short here again, I just would not be something I want to do at the moment. I want to find a better long, or I really want to see momentum to join, which we might be getting. This could be a gap fill scenario. That's worth looking at. Let's see what the gap looks like. Okay. We still have a pretty strong uptrend up here, so I'll come back to that. I'm just gonna, again, I'm defaulting to sitting on my hands. I've got a nice profit from last night. It would be dangerous to be short here, but it would be productive if you got short up at the high there. Again, now there's a 6-tick sweep up we just had there. I'm watching those guys. NQ is doing roughly the same thing. What's going on here? So basically all 4 indexes look roughly the same. RTY continues to lead. This is the percentages. NQ and RTY are both up roughly 1% and a bit. So, you know, again, a pullback long here is a very interesting idea for buy the dip. But I don't like it here. I want to see 35, 37, maybe 30. And I'm not excited about short, not yet. If this is going to be a short, it's going to give me some good opportunity to do that. And this is not a horrible opportunity, but well, there's some zero prints on the way down. Now we're 37. Okay, this is the area that I want to look at. 37 down to 30. Let's see if the market can catch a bid down here. If it can, it could be very interesting. I'm going to stand up and watch that. That's the first trade of the morning I am really interested in. And so far, it is not giving me anything I like. Again, I do not like this short. I'm looking for a long here, but not yet. This area could be it. If we can suck a whole bunch more shorts in and then get going the other way, we'll have a beautiful short squeeze back up to the highs. This could be it starting right now. Boy, it's a sloppy move if it is. I'm not going to join it yet, but I'm looking for a long down here. Definitely looking for a long down here. Yeah, 30 to 35 is the sweet spot right in here. There's UB down there right now. Yeah, this wants to go lower, and that's good. But again, I do not want to be short. That might just be me, but obviously you could have made some money short here, Jeff. But I think long is going to be much more interesting at some point. Maybe right here. Maybe this is our inflex. There's a little price rejector trying to form. I'd like to see it go a little lower, but this is a very interesting first spot here. Maybe we'll play it. 37. I may nibble long here, guys. Okay, I did. I'm long from 37 and a quarter. See if we can catch a little pop here. I'm doing it in 2 chunks. I just took the first chunk off with 4 ticks profit at 38 and quarter, and now I've got a runner. So cool. All right, so that was a cool long there. I'm still in it. I'm going to keep it kind of tight, but I still like this. So pretty much, you know, the 35, 37 area is holding. And so far that was a really nice long, but I'm not going to hold on to this long. I'm going to take profits here at 40. It's a little too jittery, even though I might see some more upside. I want to keep my profits. That's why, because then we get a sweep down just like that. So again, looking for another long, but I'm not going to be overly ambitious. I want to see it come down a bit. So far, this idea seems to be a good one of buying the bottom of the range. Here, I'll stick this over here so you can just see from an equivolume point of view. You know, as long as we don't take out this overnight ebb and flow here and we can stay roughly where we're at, this is a good idea. And again, roughly where we're at is down to about 30. So, you know, the ranges, you have to think in big ranges on a day like this, Jeff. This format's going to be weird because I'm just going to be talking to myself for an hour. I may go insane. You may hear me crack up. Do I want to play this in micros? I'm asking myself, because then I could play a little bit. And you know what? I'm feeling like if I micro it, I'll monkey it. So I'm going to stay on the sidelines and go in for the minis at good opportunities, like the last one I took there at 37. And I may be about to take that trade again. Let's see. No, I think below might go this time. Yeah, I'm going to look for 30 to 35 for a long. I've got an offer right there. Let's see, excuse me, a bid there. Okay, I did not get filled. I had an order at 35. It did not fill. Now we're at 38. So I had the right idea. Once again, I shouldn't have used a limit there. I should have hit that with the market. Oh, well. That was a 5-pointer I didn't get that I had perfectly figured out. Oh, well, shit happens. Again, I really want to continue to play long. I just don't want to be the idiot that's long at the wrong spot. So the right place to be playing long is down here, you know, on the bottom of the range, not up here where it keeps poking its nose, particularly with what NQ is doing. So NQ is kind of probing down with zero prints. So, you know, you don't want to be long into that over here if that's happening, even though they're both up about, you know, ballpark 1%. Again, just for reference, here's what we're up. The weak one is YM. It's a 0.5%. And that, you know, I'm curious, why is that? Is there something holding YM back? So I go and I look at my heat map and I look at hang on one second. I just had an alert. Okay. So, okay. So it's Merck. Merck is holding back the Dow. It's down 3%, and literally everything else is flat or up quite a bit. So Verizon is down a fraction, so that doesn't really count. Yeah. So this is Merck. So there was some sort of news with Merck that is impacting the Dow. So watch that. You know, if Merck comes back, the Dow could really be in play. It's at its lows right now. On the other hand, you know, it's over here in the lower left. On the other hand, if it can't come back, it's probably going to ultimately drag everyone else down with it. So this is a real interesting day to be really patient. I'm still looking for longs, but I want to watch all those pieces. All right, this is an interesting spot. If all four of the indexes turn together here, I may grab another long. It's trying really hard to do that, and it's not totally succeeding. All right, here's 37 again. Remember, this is the spot I keep buying, 35 to 37. And it keeps giving me really good, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 ticks, but then it turns right back down and the range comes right back into play. So, you know, this is a scalper's paradise as long as you're really nimble and you're just grabbing ticks, 3 ticks, 4 ticks, 2 ticks. You know, you don't want to be holding out for a swing move here because that's going to be really risky. All righty, let's see, where are we in time? It's we got 20 minutes left in A period. So this is probably a really good day to see how A period kind of wraps up and goes into B period. That could be the real sweet spot trade because we're getting a little sweepy here now. There was a price rejector at the top of that 15-second, and look at both ends of the pullback are not clean, which, you know, again, that kind of illustrates really clearly the sense that there's really no direction here. The market is definitely in price discovery just over a really big range. And that's a lot of opportunity, but again, good reason to not have an opinion. I have no opinion here other than I've so far liked buying 35 to 37. That's my only opinion. And not riding it past 40 is the other half of that lesson. If you try to ride it past 40, you immediately have to give back 4 or 5 ticks. It's doing it right now. See, so that's a really good point too. The trade is 35, 37 up to 40, and that's it. So that's not giving us a lot to work with on a day that we're up 40 points. That's a tight little range. It's going to have to break that sooner or later, one way or the other, pretty aggressively here. It's building up a lot of energy here, and it's not going anywhere. And that's an apex, and those will always break aggressively. So let's wait for the big tell, which right now, it's a long until it proves otherwise, but you got to get a good entry. You got to be entering down here, not up here at 40. So I'm not seeing anything I really want to do yet besides those ones that I just mentioned. Starting to watch NQ. This is the time of the day that I will start trading NQ as well. I like it long too. It has, it's got a zero print near the top. That's interesting. This is compressed a little bit. This is 3/4 compressed NQ. I believe this one is tick by tick. Let's see. Yeah, this is 1-to-1. So that's why it's kind of erratic. Yeah, again, everything here says this could be a really good long, but it's a really stupid spot to do it because it's, right on value. So I continue to like my other idea of the 30 area to the 37 area. Remember, we do have a little bit of news coming. I mentioned this a minute ago. Home sales at top of the hour. Treasury Secretary Yellen will be yelling. So this could create a little volatility. I don't care who's saying what or what the numbers are, but I just know by the fact that they're coming that I want to be mindful they could impact any trade I happen to have on when we get to that time of the day. So, okay, NQ has a little bit of new volatility there. This is very interesting. This little spot is a little battle going on right here at 66.5, 65. And look where ES is sitting right there under that 40. This could be where we get our break coming. It's telegraphing and changing energy over there. So watch that. This could be the break that pushes down that we can buy. All right, there's 37 again. So far, so good. I might nibble here. 35 I like better. I think I'm going to play though. Go ahead and nibble here. Yeah, I'm going to nibble just a bit. Okay, so again, I'm long here from 37. And actually, I got one at 36 there. But I'm not giving this a lot of room. It's pretty volatile to the downside. This could break down here. And I don't want to get caught in that. And there it goes. There's 35. Okay. So remember, 30 is the place I really like. So 35 is in play right now. It's pushing down pretty hard. I don't want to be in front of this, but I definitely want to see if this holds. If it does, it's going to be a sweet long. Okay. I just nibbled a little more. So now I've got 2 and my average is right here at 35. So, so basically I nibbled that pullback and I may or may not be right here. And, and my target again is just up around 40. I'm just playing this range. And if it goes below 30, I'm wrong, but I really like it. As I've said all morning, 30 or better, I really like. So we'll kind of watch and see how that plays out. Okay, it's going to put it in play. This could be real interesting here. Watch this spot, guys. It's coming down with decent momentum. So if it does get a bit under it, it's going to be a high volume reversal here, and it should be a pretty wicked move up. But at the moment, we're going down, so we're not there yet. It's not happening yet. If and when it does, watch 30 here. Okay, this is the spot I like. I explained why already. It's definitely in play. It's an IP. It doesn't look like it's going to get bought, though. Maybe, maybe not. Nope. So we're still going to go down a bit, looks like. Now we might have something going on down here to watch. Right now, it's still not low, is not low enough. So watch this pullback right here. This could get very interesting if it can get some traction. Otherwise, I think we're going to revisit the lows, the overnight low anyway. So I kind of want to see it defend this spot is what I'm saying. But it could be sloppy. I don't expect buyers to just come in and overwhelm it. It's just a good spot to play if you want to try to nibble long. And here we go. Let's see if we can catch as I said, I'm long here. I'm nibbling in. I'm playing the micros this time. I was playing the minis before. This is a micro trade. I've got 5 of them right now. And my average is right here at 32.5. Now I'm profitable. So let's see if we can catch a good move here. I think we are going to. See if we can squeeze some shorts back up into the, the high volume node is just right up here. So if we just get back up into there, that's all we're playing on here. So, but the risk to the downside is significant if it pushes below 30. So far, it held 30 pretty nicely, within a point change. Okay, now my long is beautiful. I'm really happy here. We're up 2 points. I'm going to start taking profits here around 35 since that's the first inflection point, but I think we're probably on our way to 40 again. Oh yeah, there we go. Hello. I like this. So I'm going to protect my trade. I've got to stop under it. I'm not trading on this account. I'm trading over on my Jigsaw, but you can understand what I'm doing. That's why I'm telling you where my. So I'm still long here. From now, an average of 32 even. I've got half of the position left. I have no target. I'll just ride it until 40 is where I'll expect to see it pause. But if it doesn't, I'll just stay with it. Why not, right? It's been pausing at 40 up until this point. That's kind of where it's being sold. But right now, this is a really good move. That's the kind of position you want to be in, where you're just playing with profits. Okay, I just took the rest of my profits off. So that was really nice. 4 points. I'm happy with that. Patience paid off. So cool. All right, I'm going to just take a deep breath because that was a really sweet little trade that occurred right where I wanted it to. And I don't want to. Whenever that happens, I always like to just take a deep breath and say, okay, cool. Other thing, if you just want to see that, this is on 15 seconds right now, but if I switch it to 45, you can see this is the turn I just bought right here. Just playing off that spot down there that I was talking about before that. So anyway, we'll go back to 15 seconds. I am SO hands right now. I actually have not had a loser yet this morning, and that's always dangerous for me. I get overconfident. So I'm going to take a deep breath and rest a bit here and look for an A to B or a B to A trade. B to A trade right now actually could be really interesting if we were to go just and take out the lows, and that low is not low enough yet. So there's definitely an inside out potential trade here. And guess what? It's in both directions. It looks like low is more likely than high right now. There's absorption up there that's pretty significant, but so what? We're not there yet. We need to get to B period. And remember, there's news right at the top of the hour too. So, but the potential for an inside out from the middle back down to the lows here, and then another long down there, both of those things I really like. So that's what's going on in my head as I take a breather and walk to my coffee machine and fire up a Keurig. Normally there won't be Q&A in these sessions, but again, we're going to kind of test this format. If anybody wants to put anything in the chat they want me to answer, I will. JVC, if you want to comment at all, you'll be taking over at the bottom of the hour, if I'm correct, right?
I will. That is correct.
What do you think of this ES action so far? Are you in agreement with me, or is something you're disagreeing on? Or?
I have not been watching it super closely until just about the last minute or so. When you started
Did you see
talking
that
about
long
the
I took?
Out, it's looking like a trade to the low is really sweet, which also makes me really nervous.
Yeah. We could have really aggressive two-sided action today, which is the exact same reason I'm not sticking my neck out and I'm not, looking for big moves. Anytime I've got 3-4 ticks, I'm protecting it. And since the Sunday reopen, I'm having a really nice day across all my accounts, so I'm not complaining. But I know that on a day like this, you can really get. Ooh, look at that! There's a really large, big buck outside my window. A deer. He's looking at me. They're all young here, but this guy's pretty big. I wouldn't want to face off against him. Anyway, all right, so where are we at? 36. Okay, same area. So now I'm not as interested in buying this area because it's kind of like that trade's over. We're kind of at value now around 36, so I don't like it long as much as I did when it was value kind of being created by price discovery. Hopefully that idea makes some sense to everybody. If not, write down a question and bring it up in Q&A tomorrow. That's how we're supposed to do it, right?
Yeah, Q&A session is the perfect place if you want to dive into something deep, or if it's something you want to just throw in the pit. That works too. But yep, Q&A.
And notice, we are trying. We've had issues with Q&A with people. Everyone loves to come to it, but people don't give us questions in advance. So this is. One of the reasons we're switching to this is to create more active questioning and tutoring time, and we'll be making more announcements about that. All right, this is getting really sweepy now, particularly NQ, which I've been watching to decide if I want to play it, and I don't. NQ is just too thin to play right now. You can be right and not get out with your profits, but I really like ES. We're still litigating 35. Another push down to 30, particularly on whatever the quote unquote news is at the top of the hour. I would nibble again. That trade worked really nicely. down in here. But again, that doesn't look like it's low enough. So I'll nibble when it looks like the momentum is turning down there, like I did last time. At the moment, God, you could argue inside out right now to the downside. You could argue inside out to the upside, and we haven't even started B period yet. So I'm gonna sit on my hands some more. Meanwhile, let's go back and see what oil's doing. Wow, look at the drop. Are you still watching oil, JVC?
I am now.
Look at that. So this is exactly why both of us were saying this is a really dangerous try for that ledge break. Look at it. It is now exactly, it fell through that air pocket. It's back on the high volume node. So exactly what we thought could happen happened. But taking that as a short with that UB right above it when it was up there would have been impossible to do. I mean,
there was just no entry.
Yeah, either way. And so this is just
Yep.
a really good example of, you can look at that and say, wow, there was a really nice trade there, but it would have been almost impossible. You would have gotten nothing but luck if you did it. So if you happen to have a big profit on this trade, don't result and think you're a genius. That would have been really hard to execute. It was there, but it was not classic oil. You had to already be in it to get it right. So anyway, look at that price rejector. It was just totally perfect right there. And yeah, I mean, you could have joined that right in here somewhere. What is that, around 60? But if you look at this on the faster view, let me go down here and go to 45 seconds. That wouldn't have been quite as easy as it seemed. Yeah, see, it did it really fast on jolts like it tends to do. So yeah, no, I'm glad we're not playing oil today. I think oil could have been punishing us if we were playing it.
You know what, though? I'll point out one thing that really, this is a perfect illustration that speaks to the whole information risk versus money risk thing, because when it pushed up to the top, couldn't quite get to the overnight high and gave a price rejector. That's a perfect spot to say, my information risk, who the hell knows? It could do anything, but we do have UB at the low. And if I'm wrong, what, 5 ticks?
Yeah,
6 ticks?
exactly.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah, the trick would have been to just ignore it, just go ahead and get short, put a stop, right above it, and then you would have caught that drop. But that would have been a ballsy trade to take.
Yeah. Well, and the other problem with it is that oil likes to sweep. If it just suddenly blew through the top 15, 20 ticks, and your 5-tick stop, guess what? You just got out at 15.
Yeah.
So
that's what happened to me on that eval account 2 weeks ago. I was trading that exact scenario, and I ended up being right, but it swept so far up that it hit my daily loss limit in the process, and I wasn't over leveraged. It just, oil does that. Put it this way: everything in oil is over leveraged. That you have to assume that one contract
if you're
is too
in
much,
you're over leveraged.
But on the other hand, if you're riding a move, and you can catch some of these, 5, 6, 10% moves, it's like crazy. But that's why I really tend to play oil only as a momentum trade. I mean, I respect the structure and I use it to keep myself out of trouble, but I will rarely just jump into CL unless I really like the momentum, because that's what saves me from being stupid. All right, so let's see. Oh, we have a nice little pop back up to the 40 area in the indexes. So let's get back over on that view. So there it is. Again, I mean, this trade from 30, 35, 37 to 40 continues to be the right trade. It can't get above 40, and buying the dips is working. So this is, this is Jeff's famous, you got to play the range. We have a beautiful, really specific range here that's being respected. And so, trade it. I mean, when it leaves the range, it might do it pretty aggressively, but to get above 41 or 42 here, it's in a huge low volume node. So, if it's going to break up there, the delta is going to have to pick up, and, to get into this area up here, this low volume area up here, all the way up to that passive guy up there. So yeah, I mean, this is a potential long, but it will be really clear if it becomes a long. Until then, the long has to be down there. And I would not be shorting this, like I said, at any of these spots. This looks like it wants to trap shorts. That's my instinct at the moment. And now I'm starting to like NQ. It's smoothing out. The last 4-15 seconds were pretty predictable, and it looks like it's about to break its ledge. There it goes. It's cleaning up. It's got UB just above us here, so it's about to go get it. That's interesting. And notice how ES is not going with it. It's still holding below 40. So That is interesting to me, and interesting enough that I want to go look at what's moving in the NASDAQ and see if there's any information there. So here's the NASDAQ. So all the big boys are moving. Obviously, Moderna is in play again. It's up almost 10%. But look at that. NetEase, Zoom down 3.7. CrowdStrike down 3.7. PayPal down 2.5. JD 2.2, eBay is down. So some of the techs are down. There's a Peloton. Yeah, that's a winner, right? Anyways, all right, this is just kind of mixed. So basically anything going on in NQ is probably accurate, and the S&P 500 is equally representative. All right, so let's take a look at the internals. It's the time of the day I like to kind of get a look at internals. Again, it's just contextual for me, but it's useful. So advanced decline is open very strong at almost 2,000 positive, and it's now kind of drifted down to normal land at 800, but it's still positive. The downside volume, this is Friday's downside volume here, and we've got upside volume, but it's very weak. So, and the tick is kind of open strong and also just kind of came back into flatland, which is kind of what we're seeing in the price. You know, we opened strong and now we're just going sideways at value. And for that reason, again, I'm going to buy the dips and I'm not going to short the moves up. And I don't like a long here unless it gets into this low volume node and really does it with some authority, which will be really obvious if it does that and we can just join it. I would join that with a market order. If it starts doing that, it might be actually thinking about it right now. Let's watch this. What I'm talking about here is this low volume area here up to that passive buyer who is absorbing everybody, or passive seller, I mean. Yeah, just the sweet spot for this trade is 30 to 35. 37 might be interesting, but it's not as strong as it was. So really, I want to watch 30 to 35. And now we might get another shot at 35. 30 is better than 35. It's just obviously it got much more aggressively. This is what the if you're just looking at the high volume reversal that was down there, that's where I was long. And I think this area will continue to be defended, but you know, it'll be really obvious by the delta whether it's being defended or not when we get down there. So that was why I added to that trade. I saw that happening, and so I nibbled early at 35, and then when it got down to 30, I bought more, and then at 28, I doubled the whole position, and that gave me a nice average and a nice profit on the move back up here to 40. So. And again, where would I have been wrong on that trade if it lost 30 decisively, which it didn't. It lost 30 and it wicked right on it. And remember, I was talking about that number ever since the open. I had been watching that spot and it played out the way I thought it would as a nice inflection point. But now it's really sloppy. So, anywho.
And we are actually now in B to A,
Yes.
or B period rather.
Yes, we're in B period. So the trade that's queued up is the B to A. I still think inside out is possible here, you know, that we could go take out the unfinished business down at the lows. And, you know, that's right around 30, right? That's, you know, that's the area that I like long. So all of this makes sense. Everything today makes sense. This is a really beautiful day. You could trade from here to there short. I think that's dangerous. I'm not going to do that because, you know, there's no reason to believe we couldn't go the other way too in a heartbeat. Remember, we've got top of the hour. We did get some numbers. The pending home sales came out. That one's done. Yellen will be yelling. You know, nothing a surprise there. But God, meanwhile, oil is now even lower. It's 71.80. I'm so glad I didn't get sucked into trying to trade that long. It's sitting right on the high volume node. That was a really good day to be short or not stupid. I'm glad I saw that coming and stayed away from it. I'm not always that smart. Okay, we broke 41. This is very interesting. So look at this. We went up into the high volume node and we got rejected pretty aggressively up there and right on the quarter, surprise, surprise, at 42.5. You know, the quarters work. That's not bullshit. I tell you guys that all the time. It literally is a spot. Every inflection point a quarter is always an inflection point, no matter which way we're going, at least for a beat. All right, I don't like this long. I think it did what I thought it might do. It got rejected right away into that low volume node. It might be able to base here and continue up, but it's not a good thinking in bets long here. The thinking in bets long is down at the other end of the range at 30 or 37 or 35, where it is right now. That might be worth nibbling again. Let's look at the order flow over there on the dome. Yeah. Oh, it's moving back and forth 4 ticks at a time here, and I'm just not really interested in being that sloppy. So I'm going to watch 30 now. I don't think 37 is a good spot to take the risk. There's a little price rejector on the 15. Pullback price rejector at the lows. This could literally go either way without an argument. I think it's likely to come down here. But again, I don't want to be short to down there. I want to kind of be looking to get long down there again. And if the selling really picks up, I might consider shorting it, but I'm really not thinking that way. That's a back burner idea that I don't like nearly as much as the idea of buying a weak break of this. Anyway, all right, let's sip coffee and take a breath, Jeff. This format is kind of fun, but I can see how it would be really easy to just go insane talking to yourself for 2 hours. Or, in Lee's case, he's already insane, so we may have to medicate him.
I was going to say that implies one was sane to begin with.
Exactly. Still litigating the exact same spot, 36, 37, that's the high volume node again. And at risk of repeating myself, this is just not the right place to take a risk. It could easily go either way. So we can't predict the next 20 seconds. But boy, if it gets back down to 30, 28 down there, that's a sweet idea for a long if it holds that area and doesn't plow through it too aggressively. There's a little price rejector attempt there. Again, I think that's going to be the right trade here today, but I'm not going to be overly aggressive. All right. Ooh, there's a really nice little push down that's getting more aggressive. So that might give us a good entry. Yellen might be yelling. Again, I don't watch the news while I trade. It's just a distraction. I am nibbling long here. I've got a little bit on from 33. So I got long right in there, and we'll see if I can get a little traction with it. Again, it's just a nibble. So it's 5 micros to be specific. That's my nibbles at the moment. And I've got wow, again, when you have an idea that's working, just be patient and let it keep working. Don't be stupid. And this is every one of these little dips I bought has been a really profitable long. So why wouldn't I keep trying that? And I just don't want to load up and get too aggressive. And then, when it does break down. But so far, this has been, really pretty each time it did that. I mean, look here. I'll see, these bounces off these little bottoms are sweet little places to get real high odds scalps. Just don't have an opinion. Just go with the direction. Like right there, you can just see as it was gaining energy and turning, and the delta was picking up. You could just see, look at all these buy side deltas, just right up there. That was a nice little puke right off the low, or right off that mid low. The low is kind of a big area. The low is 28 to 34 here. I'm being very loose with it for the reason I mentioned. It's moving around a lot. So any one price point is wrong, but the general idea of the bottom of the range here is working. I still don't like NQ. I've been watching it on my dome. It's just a little too thin and sweepy. When I see an entry I like in NQ, it works, but risk management over there is going to be really tricky. It's just way too thin. Most levels are single digits in NQ right now. And that 100 lot could take out 20 levels. That I just don't want to be in the middle of that. Too dangerous. Okay, so I have 23 more minutes in my second segment here, and then JVC will wow you with his trading skills, jokes, and oratory starting at the bottom of the hour at 7:30.
This actually was my slot. Yours
I'm
was,
sorry. This is your slot?
7. Yeah, but you were
right.
You were just charging full steam ahead. I wasn't going to interrupt.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still, you're right. It's the end of each one. All right, so I'm going to hand off to you. So
okay.
Yeah, and it's a great spot. I mean, you can see if you still like my longs down here. So what I'm going to do,
Sure.
I'm going to switch you to the host, JVC.
Oh, yes, you will need to do that. Good call.
Okay, and then I'm going to stop sharing. So everybody,
Okay,
this
you
is
made
how
me a
this works.
co-host, not host. I need to be host.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I got to be the host with the most.
There. Now you
There I
got it.
am.
All right. So take it. Take the share.
It is mine. All right. Ta-da.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
we're not doing the initial balance. That's right. I forgot. We're going to do
Right.
up to the initial
That was
balance.
the same mistake I made overnight in the chat when I looked at the schedule. I went, oh, crap, I have to do post IB today. I hate post IB.
I think some days we should do post IB though. Maybe
It's
we'll
probably not a terrible idea. It's just
have
my
it be
dreaded setup
optional.
because it's bit me so many times.
Yeah, today I think it's actually a good setup. I think we're going to get an inside out today.
It
But
certainly looks like it wants to. We got a price rejector up at the top and UB at the low. Oh, where to get in? I could kind of lean on this maybe. I'm in sim right now because I'm in the midst of development stuff, as you can see here. I am going to go ahead and see if I can lean on this delta here, if it will give it to me. It's moving around quite a lot, though.
please also call out the prices so
Oh,
people
yes,
don't go the other.
34.50. So I am attempting to get short 34.50 to lean on the delta area right around 35. I don't know if it will get, and it did. It gave it to me. Okay, so let's see. And in fact, you know what? Since I'm only trading one thing right now, I can use my gaming controller, which I haven't used in a while. Cool.
All right, I'm going to go on mute and let you do your thing.
Go for it. All right. And okay, it keeps getting sold. It pushes right up into those deltas and then spikes down. So I like that, but it keeps pushing back up again too. So my last line of defense is kind of 36. No, I don't like it. All right, let's see. All right. I like this. If I could get all the way up to min delta, I'll take another stab because there's a lot of passive sellers sitting up here. There's a lot of delta to lean on. In fact, I'm even going to come a tick lower. See if I can get it. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, come on. Well, there we go. And yes. Oh, whoa. Plowed through it. Okay. And came right back. Okay, good. Wow. Ooh, sweepy. Moving all over the place. Okay. Cool. Less cool, but again, I was looking for this to protect me. So this is my defense areas right in here, max delta. And oh. Okay. That's my absolute line right there. Oh, they're holding it. Okay. Ooh. Oh. My thumb is on the flat button, like about to cramp. But no, it's pushing it back down. Okay. So the absolute extreme of my defense level is holding, but it is really at the outer limits of where I'm comfortable bailing. It is absolutely the edge. And wow, okay. Nice push lower, but they're duking it out in the delta range here for sure. They might play ping pong with it for a little while, just go back and forth. Who knows? Or maybe the sellers decide to come out and push us down. That would be nice. But and yeah, this is it. Oh, wow. Okay, that's what it keeps doing. Sweeps to the downside. Okay, there we go. Wow. But then they get bought right back up again. It's so two directional. This is really tough. Okay, but the delta's holding there at max delta. The sellers are definitely there at 40. That in there right again there, that 40 75, just that is the spot that keeps, every time it gets there, it gets whacked down again. All right, that's my line, and it again right back down again to max delta over and over. But I get worried the more times that happens. It's, that whole, you kick a door enough times and eventually you blow a hole through it. So I want to see the sellers come out of the woodwork here and start pushing, and maybe they just are about to. Can we get through min delta? If we can just get through min delta, which I think we might be about to do, and here it goes. Okay, come on. Good. All right, I like it. I will add if by chance we can get down here. If we can get enough energy to push all the way down through this delta, I feel like we're on our way to the UB at the low. Okay, I'm liking this. Let's see if I can get it. I should have thought to clear all my trade data from this morning, as I've been screwing around while I'm trying to develop this thing. So I've got a gazillion different opens and closes here as I'm just firing off orders to test things. Very cluttered. Hey, hanging out around min delta, but we're below it. So as long as we can stay below it, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with this. Back into the delta range. But again, poking its head up, gets swatted down. Okay. Oh, good. Nice. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to get the short. It's going to take a little while. They're going to build the positions, those that want to get short, the big evil they. Traders are going to want to build their positions. So, I would expect that we ebb and flow in an area for a while, but now we're starting to get some energy. Okay, good. This is what I want to see. I want us to push down through max delta and the pullback bar. Pullback bar deltas are the wrong way around, which is also interesting to note. It's not something that specifically tells me an exact thing, but I like to see it. And I will go ahead and also additionally, I'm going to put an exit there, just ahead of this delta here. So if we can plow down through here, I'll take one off there, and then I'll carry one through and see what I get from the break. Ooh, back up into delta range. No, wrong way. Okay, and the sellers show up again. Okay, good. Keep it up. Come on. It's so tempting to want to add a short up here. But then I start to feel like I'm falling into bad habits of, adding to something that's not working out, et cetera, et cetera. I definitely have found I feel more comfortable and confident in things if I've got a structural idea like I do here, heading south to the UB for the break, and adding on the way when we're underway. And it's shown that, yes, that's what we're going to do. That's definitely a trick I picked up from Lee that I discovered is in fact much more comfortable for me than adding when something has moved against me, even though I like the risk reward, quote unquote risk reward of this much better, adding like right up here. Obviously, if that is in fact the high of the range, as high as it's going to push, then where else do you want to get in but right there at the high? Okay, now we're getting some energy to the downside. Can they push through? Got to get through this delta here at 35. Can they do it? Not yet. Come on. Oh, and my stop, I forgot. I've got, I'm in the test copy of Sierra. And so my stop automatically moved up to break even +1 because I got more than 10 ticks. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. It's also tempting to want to add one somewhere in here and, scalp in and out around the core, but it's so sweepy today. I don't really feel like I want to do that. I want to just get the structural move, which I do think I'm going to get. It just had a nice poke down. It got a little bit further this time, got into this delta here, the negative delta and the pullback bar by a couple ticks. And then it got pushed right back up again. So there is definitely a tug of war happening. Oh, Delta's just moved. Hello. Oh boy. Okay. Now that's interesting. So pullback bar and session deltas are matching right now because, of course, the delta just occurred that moved that. So they are still the right way around. So we're in the delta range where the battle is taking place, and it's a big range. I don't love that. Um, I like it personally when the delta ranges are smaller, but this doesn't really change anything for me because the top delta didn't move. If the top delta had suddenly moved dramatically somehow or something, I'd be a little more concerned because then that means that the sellers lost control from this level. But right now, the sellers are still in control there. So right now, it just basically means that the way I interpret it anyway is the buyers lost control. Oh no, they've regained it. Okay, so buyers are in control from about here. They're trying to regain their footing. So we're back to ping pong again, just whack, 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 back and forth. Let's see who can do what. Oh, come on. Okay. Another push down. There's Min Delta again, trying to push through it again. Oh, I forgot my trade copier is running that I'm working on. I totally forgot that was there. Whatever. Oh, I've got a second account that is. Wait a minute. Am I long in that one and short in the other? Oh my God, I'm long 3 in my trade copier because I forgot it was running. All right, let's just turn that off for the moment, shall we? That's too funny. Oh, stop it. All right. All right, we're still just duking it out in the delta range. I really do feel comfortable at the moment that we are going to get the push lower. Just they aren't doing it all in one shot right away aggressively. I think they're taking their time with it. But we've had some nice energy to the downside, and then they've kind of backed off. Like, no, we don't quite want to do that yet. But the energy is still more to the downside than the upside by my estimation. Okay, battling back around right below Min Delta. Do, 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 do. Come on, gang. Hmm. Oh, nice. Okay. Good push lower. Can we get through this delta, fill my second contract? Then I'll really feel like we're underway. We've got UB at the low of the current 30-minute as well, which is good. So I definitely feel comfortable that we're gonna get there. Here we go. This is the important spot. I want to see us push through. Can we do it? Right at 34.50. We got 1,000 contracts right there. Oh, yes, we pushed through it for a split second. And now it's kind of holding there, trying to keep pushing. back up to my entry almost. I'll play with min delta again a little. All right, I just put one on up here at max delta. See if I can get a scalp off. Just need a nice little push to the downside. Here, maybe we're getting it. Here we go. Okay, got it. All right, got a scalp there. Buys me a little bit of wiggle room, which is good. You know what? And if I can do it again, I'll do it again. There we go. And get another scalp. Yes. Boom. All right. Got it again. Excellent. Now that buys me some nice wiggle room. Now I'm real comfortable holding this. Wasn't planning to do that, but saw the opportunity to come right back up here again and take a shot at it. You know, I would know I was wrong if it got, you know, past about here. So relatively small amount of risk to add. And it's been doing so much ebbing and flowing in this range right around the high volume node. I figured that was a pretty decent bet. And now we're pushing lower. Good, good, good. Okay, come on, sellers, let's go. Somebody needs to come along and drop a couple thousand lot. That'll work for me. Just blow us right down through the lows. No, you want to. Time is it? Okay, we got 3 minutes to go in B period. Wow. Okay, gosh, are we not going to get this trade in B period? It happens sometimes. Here we go. Okay, we're pushing. We're pushing. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Come on. Oh, no. Not yet. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. There we go. Ooh, nice push down. Come on, sellers. Let's go. Run them over right there. Right there. 34.75. Push through it. Yes, yes. Here we go. Here comes my ad. 34. Come on. Can you do it? Come on. Give me my ad. There it is. Got it. Okay. I got my ad. Sweet. All right. I think we're underway now. Good. Here's the UB. Yep. Great. We just finished the UB on the 30-minute. We got a price rejector there now. But I have a feeling we're going to push the lows now. Yep. UB. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Of all the setups that I do, of all the setups that he do, the B to A in ES, I find is the most challenging for me. I often don't even get to it because I hit my daily goal in, A period oil or A period ES. Oh, boom, got my first contract off. Sweet. Now let's see what we get out of the break. What's down below? Oh, look at this. Oh, that looks 20 looks really interesting. And old weekly POC is at 17 and a half. So, that looks interesting. I am going to go ahead and just for giggles, just put this down here just to have it there. So yeah, B period, B to A, ES B to A is tricky for me because by the way I feel it anyway, the way I interpret it is by the time we get here, especially if we're at the end of B period and B period trade as today is occurring has not happened yet, then something's odd, and I don't like odd. Right? It makes me nervous and twitchy. And days where the B period trade blows out in the first minute, okay, fine, no big deal. But when we get this far into it, I start to feel like, okay, this is going to be one of those crappy days where the IB doesn't break for 3 more hours, and I don't want to be in that. It's just miserable. So 10 seconds to go here until the period opens. I'm expecting we'll get the next period wiggle, and it'll be really interesting to see if the wiggle is just below the low. Get that UB. That would be, and it looks like we're about to. There we go. We opened, wiggled. We got UB at the low of the current period and price rejector. And yeah, we're about to go. And, oh, look at that. Okay. Still like that UB, dang it. But might just bail on this. Price rejector. If that goes, I'm out. Okay, I'll take it. Sweet. So I don't know what I actually got on that because this is all conflated with all the other junk I've done this morning while I'm just testing. Let's just see what that turned out to be. Let's go to, what account is that? That's account 2. God, I have too many accounts in here. Good Lord. Oh, wait, this isn't accounts. This is instruments. What am I doing? Accounts. Here we go. Sim 2. And today. So many dang trades. All right, let's start from 0730, right? Or no, it's my time. So it would be, or no, that is, yeah, it was 7:30. That's not right. What am I? Wait, is this in Central Time? Must be in Central Time. That would do it. What the hell? How do I have trades in the future that haven't happened yet? I don't know. Something's off with my time zones in this account or in this copy of Sierra. But what's my last trade? I guess it's here. Oh, I can't even really tell. What is my default time zone? Let's find that out. Time zone settings. What am I on? I'm on Chicago. Aha, that's part of my confusion. I want my default to be local, LA. Now, local time zone. There we go. Okay, so now I think if I set this to 7:30, yes. And I think I'm on flat to flat. Oh, I'm getting alerts. Am I on flat to flat? No, I'm not. That's odd. I don't know. It's what am I doing wrong here? So 6. Oh, it's 7 o'clock, not 7:30. Right, 7:07:00. There we go. I think that's my. Actually, I started. It was a few minutes in. I think we started like 10 minutes in or something. Actually, probably right. I'm not exactly sure where I started. I don't know. I can't really keep track of this anymore, but I don't know. It was a few $100, something like that. Whatever. It's just sim anyway. But there was my trade. It played out slightly after B period, but I'm pleased with ultimately the way I played that. My initial entry could have been a little bit better, but I wanted to lean on that delta, and I knew what was ahead, what was above me to protect me, and it did its job. It was borderline, it was right on the edge, but that's why we read the order flow. I knew the exact last line in the sand, and price did not get to it, so I was all right. Threw in a couple scalps to buy me a little wiggle room just in case it needed to move, but it didn't. And didn't get the UB break during my trade. We did get it, of course, like moments after I got out, but that's okay. I'm very pleased with what I got. So I think that is it for this morning's sessions. I'm ready to wrap it up. You got anything else, Jeff? Or no, Jeff's not here anymore. He split. Okay. So I'm done. I'm going to get back into development mode for the rest of today and do some editing on this video if there's anything that we feel like we should pull out. And what else is for today? Oh, the possible trading the close. Keep an eye on the pit. See if Jeff decides to do trading the close or not. I don't know if he will. We will find out. And I think that's it. So have yourselves a great day, everybody. If you are trading, be careful, trade well. It's a twitchy day today. So definitely a good day to hone your skills, but don't be a hero. So have a good one all. Talk to you later.